All right, hey everyone. Still catching up on everything here, trying to get everything done before we go live here. So thank you so much for coming in. Today's what? Thursday. What did miners do today? Somewhere up, somewhere down. Bitcoin was down also in the day. It's going up a little bit here in the new day. We'll look at that. We look at also, what do we got? Bitdeer, Digital, CORZ, Hive, IREN, and Riot for updates for August. So we'll go through all those numbers there. And we'll get into your Q&A. So it's going to be a long one today. We'll try to get through this as fast as possible on it all. And let's go through it all. So you guys know the drill, always. Not financial advice, for entertainment only. Do your own research. If you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously. And let's take a look at what's going on here with Bitcoin really quick, and we'll get into everything else. So Bitcoin was, I got that 1 hour chart on the daily chart. So Bitcoin was down quite a bit today. It went down 3.13% on the day. Came back pretty close to where we were yesterday, towards the bottom of it. And then yesterday, it actually went back up. Today didn't do that, but we are going up right now in the new day for Friday. We're up about 1.16% here. So we'll see where this takes us. We also saw the miners here for the most part being down, except for Bitdeer being up 2.8, CORZ being up 3.75, Hut 8 being up 3.37, IREN being up 0.74, and Wolf being up nicely today, 7.67%. Wolf is still on a nice little run here. Okay, and forgive me, give me a second here. I got to turn off my furnace here because it's going to probably kick on here in a second. I almost forgot to do that. All right, I tell you guys, I'm just rushing today. A lot of updates, so it took me about 2.5, 3 hours to get all the data into the spreadsheet, so that's why I'm kind of rushing right now. Okay, so that's the miners, right? Have we bottomed out on the miners? I don't know. I think we maybe are getting close to the bottom on Bitcoin and the miners potentially as well. We're in September. We should have the rate cuts coming up here, and I think we have the jobs report coming out. When is that coming out? Tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow, Friday. We'll see how that goes. That could be a good sign there or a bad sign. So we'll see what the report shows for tomorrow, and then we'll go after that. Okay, but that's it for those. Let's get into the really nitty-gritty of it all here on the report side. So we'll try and kind of go through these kind of in alphabetical order and go kind of quickly here. All right, I'm trying to catch my breath here. So Bitdeer announces August 2024 production and operations update. They self-mined 166 Bitcoin here. Their mining rig manufacturing R&D. So the Seal Miner A1 mass production remains on track to be completed in Q4 2024 and anticipated to contribute 3.4 exahash to the company's proprietary hash rate. So that's good that is still on track. That's nice to hear. Going down here, self-mining, this is kind of interesting here, 7.8. They swapped this out a little bit to cloud hash rate, looks like. So you can see here, 7.8 for the self-mining. Prior month was 7.5, so that's 300 petahash roughly there. The prior month they had cloud hash rate was 0.8. Prior month was 1.1, so you got a decrease here, an increase there, so they kind of just swap things between the two. That's kind of what they do. They kind of switch the hash rate depending on where they see that it might be more profitable. It makes it a little challenging to cover them and get the data right. So I did the best I could on that one. On it, going down here, what else do we have here? They got plenty of information here. Rockdale, they're working a hydrocooling conversion happening there. That started in August here. And they're expecting that to finish up in Q4 and into Q1 as well. Tidal Norway, expansion still on track there, it looks like. Mass Elon, Ohio. That is still progressing nicely here for them as well. You guys can read that. And then Bhutan as well. We got a lot of stuff in the pipeline here going forward. So that's interesting. But let's take a look at what we do have here on the numbers for them as far as where they came in at. We'll take a look at that sheet later on. But Bitdeer right now has about 126 million shares outstanding. Stock price at $6. Market cap 762 million. Performance over the last 12 weeks hasn't been great. Current hash rate 7.5. They're saying 7.8, but I'm not counting the, what do they call that? I can never remember what they call that business there. What is it called? Cloud hash rate. Okay, I gotta remember that. Cloud hash rate, that's what they're calling it. That includes another couple exahash in there as well. Future hash rate by 11, right, which is kind of what they're saying here by the end of Q4. So they don't hodl anything either. Their production has been coming down here pretty much ever since September of last year. It's been on a decline, steady decline going down, as they haven't been updating their rigs too much or getting new ones or anything like that. what else do we have here? Revenue has been coming down as well. They peaked in March of this year with 19.9 million, and that's been a steady decline as well through August here at only 9.9 million here, looks like. For their self-mining portion of it, hash rate is flat pretty much. Also, it's been kind of up and down like you see here. That's kind of where they switch between the two, the cloud hash rate and the self-mining part of it. Bitcoin sold, excuse me, they sold everything that they mine. BTC per access efficiency came in at 22.1, but that's because they keep switching between the two systems, and then I'm messing up my numbers here, so that's going to be off. It's probably going to be closer to like 20 or 19, I'm guessing, on the numbers there. And then when we look at the institution side of things here, institutions did increase nicely for them, 79 from 54, so that's a good increase. Number of shares owned by institutions also doubled pretty much to 10.8 million here. That's now 12.5% of the company owned by institutions. And again, we're seeing more strong buy ratings from analysts, again, for a lot of these miners here, actually for like all of them, I think. Stronghold. Bitdeer got now 6 strong buy ratings, 3 buy ratings, 0 hold, 0 underperform, 0 sells. Price targets actually went down a little bit for them. $17 for the high, $14.24 for the average, and $9 for the low. So, you know, it's the same thing that I was talking about yesterday. Institutions are buying the dips, and retail is panicking. Retail is the one that's selling out right now, which is unfortunate, I think. Okay, as far as what happened in August, I had them operating for about 25.4 days. All the miners came up with 9.9 million here for the total revenue for the two things, and that's kind of what they reported on it as well, so that kind of coincides with what they have on it. Okay, not much change there in anything else. Going up here, we'll take a look at where they are right now. They're at $6.03. I think they should be like at 13 to 19, which kind of coincides with what the analysts are also looking at. If we look at the current figures for them, I have them between 1138 and 707 based on the revenue that they got in August as well. So they're still undervalued based on that alone. Why are they being so undervalued? I don't know. I think it's just their growth maybe is not that great in the next 12 months potentially. That could be the part there. And then also the unknown with the seal miners. How will those perform? How will those things do long run? That's just a lot of unknowns with this company. And maybe that's the reason why. Okay, but that's it for Bitdeer. Big thing for them, like I keep saying, is just growth. They got to grow as fast as possible. And they have a lot of growth happening, but a lot of it's going to be in 2025 and 2026 as well. Okay, so that's it on Bitdeer. Let's get into Bit Digital here. Bit Digital is going to be pretty short and sweet here. So the company produced 53.4 Bitcoin in August. That's a decrease of 11.7%. Company's active hash rate also went down a little bit here to 2.4. Total holdings of BTC went up to a little bit of 682.4 as well. And then what else do we have here? That's it. Pretty short and sweet. You guys can read the rest of the stuff here as well. If you're more than welcome to it. I didn't see anything that was ground shattering or anything like that. So let's take a look at Bit Digital. Bit Digital right now has 137 million shares outstanding. Market cap 366 million. Performance of the last 12 weeks has been mixed. They're up quite nicely from 12 weeks ago, up 23%. Current hash rate, I have them at 2.6. That's probably an error. There should be it. Yeah, it should be 2.4. Something did not carry over into September here. I'll fix that later on. Future hash rate, they're pretty much fully installed right now. I think they're getting rid of some of the older machines that are less efficient maybe, or just stopped running, or I'm guessing just getting rid of them because they're not that efficient. Let me see here. HODL position is valued at 39 million. That's 10% of the company's market cap right now. Their BTC production here has been also coming down. They peaked in December, 169 Bitcoin at that point, and they've been coming down there like 1/3 of that right now. That's a lot. On that one, monthly Bitcoin revenue as well, 3.2 million. That's way down also. So that's why I kind of think that they might be getting out of the Bitcoin mining space, and that we're going to be possibly going more towards the HPC play. Bitcoin HODL here is growing up nicely here again, which is nice, 682. Monthly hash rate difference, right, they're down to 2.4 from 2.7, about 300 petahash was taken offline here. Bitcoin sold, they only sold about 13 here in August on that one. So they're starting to HODL more again. BTC per access efficiency got them at 21.97. Really good efficiency there for what they did mine. BTC sold value, they sold like less than $1 million at that point. Going down here, institutions did increase as well. 175 now institutions with 67.2 million shares at 46.2% of the company owned by institutions. We now have 2 strong buy ratings, 1 buy rating, 0 hold, 0 underperform, 0 sells. Price targets stay the same for high, $6, average 583. That's actually up a little bit here, and the low actually went up also to 550. Right? Again, you're seeing more institutions buying into these guys Where's retail? Why is not retail buying? Retail is panicking, selling. So institutions are looking at it. Retail is fearful. We're going to be greedy, and that's exactly what they've been doing. All right, going down here for the month of August. Excuse me. Wow. Took out some machines here, and then I need to take those out over here as well going forward. So that's why my numbers are off a little bit here in September. Numbers for them, get rid of those. That's out. Yeah, that brings us down to 2.4. But I'm mining about 29.47 days with what they had, roughly. And they got us to 3.2 million in revenue, which got us to 3.2 million in revenue. So that's perfect right there. Based on the average Bitcoin price in August, as you guys know. Okay. So based on that, they are right now at 267. I think they should be between 349 and 524. And if we use the current numbers plus from August numbers times 12, I have them with 483 and 724. That's including the HPC revenue that they're getting there as well currently. So are they undervalued? Yes, they're undervalued. I'm really surprised that they are still undervalued based on the simple fact that they already have a HPC customer there that's generating nice revenues for them. I don't know if it's just because they're asset light, if that's the reason for it. Because being asset light, you don't have control over that so much, maybe. Maybe that's the reason there for that one. Okay, but that's Bit Digital in a nutshell. And I'll be surprised to see how they do going forward with Bitcoin mining, actually. Like I said, I think they might be looking to get out of that maybe sometime next year. Maybe. I don't know. We just don't have any growth for them right now. And with them being at only they're supposed to be at like 2.8 exahash. Their original targets or previous targets were like 6 exahash, but we have not heard anything from them to expand on that anymore. And they don't provide any information on that in the press releases also. So that kind of makes me think that they are phasing this portion of their business out maybe. But we'll see. Okay. So that's Bit Digital there. Let's take a look at CORZ Scientific here. CORZ August update as well. This is a quote from Adam Sullivan here. So our team has been very busy preparing some of our sites for modification to support our HPC hosting contracts and optimizing operations at our Bitcoin mining sites. We have removed Bitcoin mining infrastructure from 2 of our existing facilities in preparation for selective interior demolition and have redeployed the miners removed from those facilities to our Bitcoin mining sites. The sequential decline in self-mined Bitcoin earned resulted from a combination of miners migrating to their new data centers and continued growth in global network hash rate and difficulty, which is kind of what we're seeing here for all the miners. Unless they were actually growing tremendously in hash rate, pretty much majority of the miners are down in Bitcoin production. Excuse me. What else do we have here? Self-mining Bitcoin earned 358, energized hash rate 20.5 exahash, Bitcoin sold 375, and what else do we have here? That is it on it. Okay, so again, let's take a look at my sheet here. For Core, they're currently at 258 million shares outstanding, stock price at $10.24, market cap 2.6 billion. They've done a fantastic job growing this year, and they've done a really good job here also in the last 12 weeks for the most part. They're up 32% from 12 weeks ago. Current hash rate 20.5, future hash rate I'm at 20.5. I don't know if they're going to get those machines maybe swapped back in. We'll see. If anything, we'll add them back in if they do. And we still don't have any definitive purchases on any new machines going forward. They've been in talks, I believe, with Block for those Block miners. We'll see if anything materializes out of that. And what else do we have here? They don't hodl anything right now. BTC production has been coming down as well. They peaked in December with 1,177. Their best month for revenue was March with 61.34 million. I mean, yeah, again, they're down like a third of that from where they were. BTC hodl don't have anything for hodl. And then you can see their hash rate has been kind of up and down here as they're moving machines around for accommodating core weave and retrofitting their facilities for like a tier 3 data centers. BTC sold, they sold everything here. BTC per exahash efficiency 17.46. Bitcoin sold value 22.48 million. This is going to be huge here. Check this out. Institutions. Oh my gosh. Institutions went crazy into Core here this last month. They added approximately almost 100 institutions got into it. They almost doubled their number of shares owned by institutions, also 256 million. That is now owned 60% by institutions. That's just crazy. We also have a big jump here in the strong buy ratings to 7 now, buy ratings to 2. Excuse me. And 0 holds, 0 underperforms, 0 sells. Price target stay the same at 20. Average went up a little bit here to 16.28, and the low went up, stayed the same actually, 13 on that one. Going down here, based on the numbers here, I have them at 21.4 million here in revenue. And then for August, I took out some machines here. Which ones did I take out? I took out like 600 petahash here. That looks like right in August. Yep, took that out. They got us to the 21.463 million, which is what we should have here. Yeah, they were operating for about 22.834 days on average with the machines that were plugged in at that point. Wow. Excuse me. All right, took a sip of my water here. Hopefully that helps a little bit. I'm just talking a lot, talking fast, and my throat's starting to dry out on me. Okay, going back up here, where are we at with price targets and everything else? I have in between 1288 and 1931 right now. They're at 1024. I think they are still undervalued. We may still see some more dilution in the shares once the warrants get exercised by shareholders. So originally we were thinking about right around 400 million. We're at 250, so we got about 150 million left or so to get there. It might be even higher than that. But you know, that's not including the revenue they're going to be getting from CoreWeave here. This is just strictly on their self-mining here. If we look at what the current revenue they're getting for just a little bit amount for HPC through one of their sites in Texas, I think, which is a small, what is it, only like 10 megawatts or something like that, something small. I'm between 748 and 1122. I wouldn't really go by those numbers. I would go more by these. And at that point, I think they could be even more than this. Just given that if they can, I know they will. It's just a matter of time. When will they actually get the HPC revenue coming in, whether it's going to be Q1, Q2 of next year sometime. Okay, that's a big thing for them. Other big thing for them is they got to change out a lot of the older machines that they do have here. So hopefully the deal with Block goes through, and then maybe they can do something else with it. So they could possibly increase their hash rate to like maybe, what do they say, 35 exahash or something like that, possibly by the end of the year here. If they can get that going, that would be kind of interesting to see. And actually, it would be really nice for them to do that as well. But that's it. Yeah, they have been doing a really good job. Just continue to execute, and they should do great going forward. All right, that's it on CORZ. Let's get into Hive here. Hive is also pretty interesting here. So Hive, well, there's a lot in here. So Hive Digital Technologies announces August 2024 production update of 112 Bitcoin and 1% HODL growth to 2,533 Bitcoins, and acquires 1,000 Bitmain S21 Pros for immediate delivery. So that's good news there. And here's what we have here. So they mined 112 Bitcoin, concluded the month with 5.3 exahash in installed hash rate, increased Bitcoin holdings to 2,567. And then down here, IREN says, over the past month, we have optimized our fleet's performance, achieving an average hash rate of approximately 5.2 exahash by fine-tuning the firmware of our 30 joules per terahash machines, improving their efficiency to 27.8 joules per terahash. So that's good. That's always good that you can optimize those. And then to support this strategy, we have acquired 1,000 Bitmain S21 Pro miners for immediate delivery to upgrade our existing suite of equipment. Additionally, we have purchased 300 Bitmain S19 XPs to fully utilize available rack space at our Luxxfolio facility. These machines were purchased and installed in August. Okay, so that's good there as well. They're doing all the right things, right? Just not a lot of growth going forward. I mean, they're supposed to get to like 12, 13 exahash next year sometime. I think that'll be, like I've said before, 1% of the network hash rate. And that's kind of what they want to maintain. They want to maintain 1% of the network hash rate. So here's what we got on Hive here. Let's go back up here. So Hive has about 117 million shares outstanding, market cap 322 million. Their performance over the last 12 weeks has been kind of mixed here, right? You're up 11%, you're down 14%, you're down 6%, you're up 8%. So it's been kind of even, I guess you could say, on that one. Current hash rate 5.3. Future hash rate we're supposed to get to like 5.9, I believe. Bitcoin HODL 2,567. That's valued at 148 million right now. Bitcoin production peaked, it looks like, in September of last year. Yeah, and then it's been kind of up and down and going down. Actually, it's been kind of flat here over the last couple months, which is kind of nice to see here. It's down a little bit, but not a lot for them. Going down here to monthly revenue here, it is down to 6.71. So that is only like two times down or something like that, somewhere around there from where it peaked in March of 15. So that's actually pretty good. They've been maintaining that pretty well. Bitcoin HODL has been increasing as well. Much slower here recently, but still increasing. And then total petahash, 5.3 exahash. Nice little increase here, about 334 petahash based on my numbers here. Bitcoin sold, they sold 78 Bitcoin, BTC per access efficiency 21.14, really efficient as well there. And then looking at the institution side of things here, this is the only one that I think had a decrease for some, well, had a decrease in institution so far that I've seen. So institutions did go down to 128 from 133. Shares also went down to 37 million from 40 million, and the percentage went down to 32% compared to 34. We do have an improvement in the analyst ratings. So now we have 2 strong buy ratings, 2 buy ratings, 0 hold, 0 underperform, 0 sells, and a price target of $9. So that's an increase here. The average went up also to 6.5, and the low went up to 5 on it. So it looks like analysts are, a little bullish on it. They think they can do pretty well here on it. Going down here, what did we install here? I did not install these XPs. I didn't catch that part until the end of it when I was doing this. So I added in basically the S21s here. We'll get this straightened out eventually here when they do get added on other machines. I also added in the 1,000 machines that they are buying here. They're getting this month as well. So that's added into it. That's why we're getting it to 5.9 exahash here, looks like, on it. And we'll see if they remove any other machines that they have in here. Like, I mean, they still have like the 110 terahash machines. I think those are still going to be profitable. We'll have to run some numbers on those. But overall, we got to 6.7 million here, and they were operating for about 28.15 days on average. The 330 petahash that was installed, I have that running operating on average about 20 days, I'm guessing. It's just a guessing game there whenever that happens. Okay, so that kind of gets us to the 6.714 million that I have here for the reported month. And then where are they now? They're at 275. I think they should be at $4.91 to $7.36 with a PE of 10, right? I'm not even giving it a PE of 20 or anything like that, with usually what I would do with companies that are growing a lot. But with them, I have a PE at 10, and they're still undervalued at that point. I mean, for them to be where they are right now, how low of a PE would we have to give them? Possibly like a 5 maybe? Yeah, with the 5, then they would be kind of like fairly valued. But I think they should at least get a 10 because they're still continuing to grow and get more efficient over time as it happens. Plus, they're really good operators as well. So that's it. You guys know my stance on Hive. Hive is a great operator. I just wish they would grow more, be a little bit more, I guess, ambitious about being top 5 miner. They're not looking to do that. They're just looking to hold their 1% of the network hash rate, which is okay, right? You're going to continue to generate revenue and things like that, but you're definitely not going to be outperforming the other miners potentially when it comes to stock percentage gains. All right, so that's Hive there. Next one here. Okay, we're catching up here. We're going quite quickly through this, actually. I thought it was going to take longer than I thought. Kind of late updates, though, so that's kind of good. Okay, so IREN, August update here. 245 Bitcoin mined in August. 16 exahash installed as of September 4th. That's what I'm using. They didn't provide the end of the month numbers for us for August. So I'm going with the 16 exahash here. What else do we have here? Average operating hash rate, right, 10.9. So it looks like they were operating. Those probably got installed towards, I'm guessing, towards the end of the month there, since they were at 10.9 for it. And then Bitcoin mined 245, mining revenue 14.9 million. Electricity cost, this is huge, went down to 29,000 per Bitcoin. They were at 61,000 in July, right? That was a big concern that a lot of people had. They kind of messed up their hedging a little bit, it looks like. But they fixed it. They got spot pricing now, much, much better here in July, right, in August. So that's looking much better there. That's even better than what they had in June here. So that's really good. AI cloud service revenue also increased a little bit here to 1.29 million. So that's good. And then what else do we have here? They have a lot of charts here as well. Planning to get to 20 exahash by the end of September here. Q4, 30 exahash as well. And then they have some updates here on their other things that they're doing. Okay, AI cloud services, data centers, how that's being built out. Childress, see, monetization conversations ongoing. Morgan Stanley process NDA signed, information being provided to interested parties. Co-location opportunities at existing Canadian and Childress sites. Okay, so they're working on it. They're looking to see if they can get some HPC play, it looks like. All right, that's it. Let's take a look at what I have for their numbers here. Nope, not that one. This one. So IREN has 187 million shares outstanding, market value of 1.2 billion right now. I think they're undervalued, way undervalued from where they really should be. Performance here, as you can see, has not been great over the last 12 weeks. They're down 47% from 8 weeks ago, which is basically when when did that come out? I'm trying to think. The July numbers came out in August. So that would have been only a month away. That would have been 4 weeks ago. But yeah, they're down quite a bit here in the last couple of months. Current hash rate 16. Future hash rate supposed to be 30. Why do I have 26 here? What am I missing? Missing something here. Oh, I think I know. I forgot to move that one over. See, there's too many numbers and cells and everything else to keep track of. I didn't add that one into it as well, which I divided out because I needed to add 5 exahash here, it looks like. Okay, that gets us back to 30 exahash, so we're good there. 14 exahash left to install. They don't hodl anything. Bitcoin production here. Remember in yesterday's video, I believe I said that IREN would be probably the only one out of the bunch here that would actually have growth in their Bitcoin production, and it turns out it was the case. 245 Bitcoin compared to 222 in July, so that's good. That's what we want to see, and it's going to get even better here with them running a full month at like 16 exahash. So that should also improve here for September numbers. Okay, Bitcoin revenue here, it's going back up here, 14.69, so that's great to see as well. Hash rate 16 exahash, 5.5 exahash was installed here. That's huge. So they need to install another 4 exahash in September to get to the 20 exahash goal that they have. I believe they can get that. Bitcoin sold, they sold everything. BTC per access efficiency down to 15.31. That's because they installed a lot of machines at that point. So that's going to drag anybody down. Bitcoin sold value, how much they sold. Looking over here, institutions. Also, huge moves by the institutions with IREN here as well. So institutions increased quite a bit here to 178 institutions with 86.7 million shares now owned by institutions, 51% owned. Analyst ratings, also huge improvement here. Now 6 strong buy ratings, 2 buy ratings, 1 hold rating, 0 underperforms, 0 sells. Price target stayed the same at 26. Average actually went down to 16.25, and the low went down also to 9.5 on it. So again, institutions are buying the dip. What else do I have here? Okay, going down here, we can see that in August, I had them operating at about 26.9 days. The machines that were getting installed here, the 5 exahash roughly, plus another 500 exahash here, or 500 petahash. I had those operating about 5 days. Those are about 26.9. I'm just guessing on it. I don't know exact numbers when those are getting installed. But based on their average, that's kind of what I've calculated that they might be at. So that gets to 14.6 million in revenue, which coincides with the 14.6 here that I got based on the average price of Bitcoin. And then where do they stand right now? They're at 677. I'm in between 1054 and 1581. I do believe that they're undervalued currently. So they should be at least 2x probably from where they are right now. Okay. What do I have to say about IREN? Not much. I mean, they're rocking and rolling. What else can you ask for? They're doing a fantastic job here. Just keep it up. That's all we can say. Okay. So that's IREN. And then let's get into our last one here, which is going to be on Riot. Riot was an interesting one. It was definitely a surprise for me, at least. I don't know if it was a surprise for you guys as well. But I thought with them being at 20 some exahash at the end of July, that in August we would see much better numbers from them, and this actually wasn't the case. So let's get into it here. Here's what they reported. Bitcoin produced 322 Bitcoin, 370 in the prior month. Hash rate increased, but yet they still can't seem to generate more Bitcoin. They did get pretty good power credits, but I don't think it was still enough to justify the reduced production of Bitcoin. I'll give you guys my thoughts on that in a second here. What else do we have here? Bitcoin hodled was 10,019 now. So that's the next increase from July as well. Deployed hash rate 23.5, and you can see here that they were at 23.2 in July. So with that, I was expecting them to have much better uptime. They were at, I believe, 75% operational during July numbers, if I remember that correctly, for Corsicana facility. And then they were like at 65% at Rockdale. I was expecting better numbers there, but they actually came in on average for this time. I didn't do the math on the individual sites, but overall they were like at 60-some percent uptime during the month here, which is not good. Okay. Let's see. The good thing is they had 2.69 or 2.6 cents per kilowatt hour because of the power credits they got, 6.4 million, almost a double from what they got in July of 3.4 million there. So that was good. What else do we have here? Okay, some comments here. In addition to periods of curtailment due to our participation in demand response programs, uptime was impacted during the month by high temperatures in Texas and unscheduled maintenance at one of the buildings at Rockdale facility. which was subsequently returned to full operation at our Corsicana facility. Building cooling systems in building A1, A2 were being completed towards the end of August, and on completion, this will alleviate the impact of high temperatures on our operations at A1 and A2 going forward. Well, yeah, I would hope so. If you got all immersion cooling, you really don't want to have those issues. So that was a little surprised. And maybe, I don't know if it's maybe, I mean, I'm grateful that the team there is providing the data that this is deployed hash rate, but is it, stacked, racked, and energized? That's the other thing. Maybe it would be nice to see what is actually energized there, because that might be different then, and then maybe that would give us some different expectations as far as what to expect. But when you're providing that deployed hash rate, you have 23, but you're only operating at 60% of that. That's not a good. So maybe something to think about there by the Riot team. What else do we have here? Facilities look great. I mean, facilities are fabulous there. One little critique here that I will maybe add, I mean, that's just being nitpicky at this point, is why have the Riot name? It looks like the stencil, I think these are just decals. I'm hoping those are decals and not actually cutouts, cutouts in the metal. If you're cutting that out, that's extra expense there. I mean, you got Riot on the sides here. If you don't know you're working at Riot when you're entering these facilities, I don't know what to tell you. It just seems like waste of money at this point. Yeah, it looks nice, but why do it? If I was looking at this, or if I was operating something like this, I wouldn't put my name all over the place on these things. You know you're at Riot. There's no reason to spend the extra money on it. You should be, I think, a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? A little more cognizant of the money that you're spending. It's all shareholders for the most part, right? You're trying to do this best by shareholders. And this is just something that's, I think, not needed. I don't know, maybe you guys disagree, and maybe I'm wrong on this, but this is kind of my thoughts on it. But beautiful facility here. Got to give them kudos for that on that one. It looks great. Okay, Riot's power strategy, you guys can read over that as well. Infrastructure update. Let's see. Riot's currently developing phase 1 for megawatts of company's Corsicana facility, which only once fully developed is expected to total 1 gigawatt in developing mining capacity. Let's see. Riot continued development of the third 100 megawatt building B1, and began deploying miners within the building. Building B1 will be fully operational in the month of September. Okay, so that's great. And development has continued on final 100 megawatt building in phase 1, building B2, and miner deployments will begin during the month of September. Okay, so that's fabulous. And then here's their growth going forward here. Let's see here. 56 exahash sometime in the second half of 2025. And then they're saying 100 exahash sometime 2027 plus, somewhere around there. So let's see here. So if they get to 56 sometime in full Corsicana and Kentucky deployment, so if that's at the end of the year, then I could maybe get to 75 exahash by the end of next year, possibly. If they can get to 36, that'd be a double from where they are. So it might be doable in 2025 as well, but there's no timeline on it, right? So we'll see on that one. Okay, let's get into the figures for them. I don't think there's anything else in here. There isn't. Let's see what we have here for them on that one, and then we'll get into Q&A. Okay, so Riot, 303 million shares outstanding. Market cap, 2.03 billion. Performance over the last 12 weeks hasn't been great. It has been great over the last 52 weeks. So it's just a continuation of what we've seen here. Current hash rate, 23.5. Future hash rate, 40. So still nice growth there going forward. Bitcoin hodl, 10,019. That's valued at 580 million right now. That is 28% of their market cap right now. Based on that, BTC production here, as you can see here, has been a roller coaster ride with them. We see more production towards the cooler months, less production towards the summer months, and then we kind of roller coaster out. But they're down 48 from where they were in July, with 322 Bitcoin being mined. Revenue also came down 19.3 from 23 here. Bitcoin hodl has continued to increase, which is good. And then we'll see if they actually if they sell it in the bull run or not, or if they're going to, round trip it all the way down. We'll see on that one. Hash rate, good growth this year, right? Double from where they were last year, a 10 exahash to 23. So that's good, but it'd be nice to have much better operational uptime there. BTC per exahash efficiency, 13.7, probably one of the lowest ones here again. And then Bitcoin sold value, they sold barely anything. And then if we look at institutions again, institutions did increase here a little bit to 438, but shares increased quite nicely here to 140 million. And then percentage that is now 46.9 owned by institutions. NLS ratings also went up quite nicely here. 8 strong buy ratings, 5 buy ratings, 0 hold, 0 underperform, 0 sells. Price target stayed the same at 23. Average went down to 17.17, and the low came down to 950 here. So a little bit decrease there on those things. And then what do we get installed here in August for the miners? Well, it was these 230 terahash machines here, looks like. Not much installed there. It was about, what was that? Roughly 161 exahash, I think, to get us to the 2.3 roughly. It's going to be close, right? It's not going to be exact. But I have them operating at about 18 days. So 18 days divided by 31 days in the month, they were operating about 58% uptime. So not great at that point. Okay. Going back up here, I have them between $8.37 to $12.55, and this is based on just their uptime right now. It's dragging down their numbers, looks like. Currently, there's $6.69. I do think that they're undervalued even now. If we saw their operational uptime increase much better, and which I expected to happen, only because Jason, in a previous podcast or interview or video, whatever you want to call it, with Bryce and Anthony, has stated that Corsicana should be operating at like 95% uptime. So really need to see that happen. If that does happen, that should be a much, much better result for, I think, the company and the stock going forward. Because right now, the way that they're operating, we're seeing the same thing over and over. It's like, yeah, you're saying you're going to be getting there, but when? When is that going to happen? So we need to see the fruit of their labor here relatively, I think, shortly, because you can see in the stock price right now, investors' patience is probably worn very, very thin right now on it, which is understandable. And then, yeah, that's it. But there was a question on Twitter, or at least a little communication. I started out saying that, they should have probably, or I was looking at the amount of revenue that they got for the curtailing, right? The 6.4 million there. I was looking to see what they would have actually mined had they mined like a full month of, operations, 100% uptime. And then here's the data that I have for that. Let me zoom this in, make it a little bit bigger maybe for you guys as well. So mining and credits, right, which is kind of what they got for August. They came in at 322 Bitcoin mined. Cost per Bitcoin, let's just say it's 50%, 30,000. BTC price was 60,000 on average, roughly. Profit was 30,000 at that point. So mine value was 19.3 million. Profit was about 9.6 million. Okay. Now, if they operated at 100% full uptime, they could have mined 517 Bitcoin. Cost of power, we're going on the very, very high end here, so 90%. That got us to 54,000, all right, 60,000 Bitcoin. That gets us 6,000 profit per coin at that point. So mine value would have been 31 million here. Profit would have been only 3 million here. So that would have been a decrease of 6 million here, which is kind of what they got in power credits anyways, right? And the difference of it, if you want to look at it that way a little bit, maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way, but they got more here doing it the way that they did compared to this way, okay? And my thought was, okay, if they're hodling anyways right now, pretty much everything that they mine, wouldn't it be better to mine as much as you can going forward? So that way when Bitcoin does go 2x, 3x, you can reap those rewards with a lot more Bitcoin that you're going to have on hand, potentially. So here's the example, right? So Bitcoin goes 2x, 220,000. This 322 is going to be now valued at 38 million. Cost paid is still going to be the same, the 9.6 million for the electricity. Profit is going to be at 28 million at that point, right? Looking over here, now your cost paid is still going to be the same of 27, whatever it is, 27,000 cost paid 27 million, and your profit is going to be 34 million. You're looking at a difference here now where this is more profitable. If you mine more and you hodled it, you get an extra 5.1 million based on that, just on that 1 month here. Now Bitcoin goes 3x. Now you're looking at the same numbers here, right? Multiply times 3 on all this stuff, and you're getting 16.8 million here more on what you got right now if you hodled it. So if you do that and across multiple months and things like that, that can add up quite quickly. That's a lot. I mean, if it's on average, let's just say on average, it would amount to an additional 10 million per month. That's 120 million in a year, potentially, if you did that. So I don't know. It's just kind of the way I'm looking at it. Maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way. Right? I don't know. But that's just kind of the way I saw things. Could be wrong on this. Okay? just wanted to point that out to you guys as well. All right, I'm done rambling here. Big thing for Riot is get the operational uptime much better, or closer to the 95% that was stated originally. And we'll see where things go from there. But I do think they're undervalued right now. They just need to do much better in operations. Okay, that is it on that one. You guys know the drill on this. Patreon members get access to all my spreadsheets. That is down. The link to that is down in the description. $8 a month. There might be some spots, $5 and $4 a month as well. I am tired. Let's get into your guys' Q&A side of things here as well. Okay, so that's it for that. Let's get into Q&A, and we'll call it a day. Okay. All right, let's see what we got here as far as questions are concerned. Let's see. Which Bitcoin miners report good earnings this week? They're all done reporting earnings. Nobody's reporting earnings anymore. Let's see here. M says, I wish I had done more diversification into other miners. Yeah, I'm not following you guys' comments up top here. What else we have here? Let's see. Okay, DK says, McNally Money stated today that Wolf is one to watch for the next HPC deal. Can you comment on the Wolf Den GPU project that is on track to be finished early September? This being priced in recently for Wolf. Yeah, I think it's being priced in right now. I don't know. I mean, there's no definitive news on it or anything like that. We've had Drunken Miller, or whatever his name is, buy shares in the company. That seemed to have rocketed stock. Somebody else, Cohen, I think, also bought shares in the company. Institutions bought a bunch in the last month as well. Let's take a look at Wolf really quick here as well. We talked about Wolf. Oh, excuse me. I had to burp. We talked about Wolf yesterday, I think it was. They had a nice increase in the number of shares owned by institutions now. Here you can see that 270 was the number here from yesterday. Prior wasn't 189, so that's a good increase there. Now it's 173 million owned, 45%. That's a huge increase from the 22. It's a 2x on it. So that really, I think, compelled the stock to go up higher, but also the potential that they have there of maybe an HPC customer, but there's nothing concrete yet. So it's all on speculation and hype right now on HPC plays, it looks like. That's kind of the way I'm seeing it. Until we see something, I'm going to be a little skeptical on it. We'll see. Let's see. Jeff says, all your numbers are wrong and conclusions incorrect. Which numbers? Let's see here. IREN, Cleanspark, Bitfarms, most undervalued, the best bang for the buck. Let's see, most undervalued. Yeah, I think so. Let's see. You going to Bitfarms to meet and greet in New York? No, I'm not. I would have to fly in, and I hate flying. Let's see. Bitfarms down in after hours to 183. Any thoughts? Why? After hours are down in after hours? I can't see after hours right now on my charts anyways. Not sure. Just the market itself. Let's see. Let's see here. M says, nobody is going to steal Riot rigs. I agree with you, Seb. No need to spend money on that. Okay, you're talking about the decals or if it's actually cutouts. Yeah. It's like, yeah, it looks nice, sure, but why spend it? Okay. Can you please explain how, if there's so much institutional buying, pricing keep going down, do you think it's manipulation? It could be manipulation. It could also be retail. Retail could be also, it could be, part of it could be manipulation, which then leads to retail selling. What else do we have here? Could the Fed rates cut lead to drop in Bitcoin's price and not a boost? I mean, usually when we get rates cuts, it usually means that you have a risk on for assets. So that's usually a good thing. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. How undervalued is Mara at these levels? Ooh, good question. They're undervalued a little bit. They're not much. Let's take a look at the numbers here. For Marathon, really quick, while we look at that. Let's see. Marathon, I have them at 1797 to 2695. Yeah, this should be probably, 50%, 70% higher from where they are right now to be valued properly based on my numbers and what I'm seeing here. Let's see. What else we got here? Yeah, Applied raised $160 million today, which up big, and then NVIDIA invest into the company. Also, then I'm upset because NVIDIA can't raise the dividend. Then take your money instead to risk millions. Take your money instead to risk millions. Not sure what you're talking about there. But yeah, they got that. It'll be interesting to see if they get anything out of it. Do you think market pumps into elections or dumps, and then pump comes after elections? Also, big job report tomorrow. Yeah, we do have a report tomorrow as well. That's coming out. We'll see what that is like. And then, do you think market pumps into elections or dumps? I mean, usually, I would have to look at the data. I don't track the data on that, so I think it usually dumps a little bit before that, doesn't it? I think. I'll have to look into it. Let's see. When is Cypher's Black Pearl site going to be ready to go? I believe CEO stated recently that Black Pearl could be switched over to HPC if they had a big customer. Yes. I think that's going to be sometime in 2025. First half of 2025. Don't know exactly when. Let's see what else we got here. Last week, news from CNBC saying Bitcoin back to 50, which is hurting miners this month. Yeah. Are you buying any miners? I was buying miners. When did I buy them? Tuesday. Bought Cleanspark, IREN, and Bitfarms at that point. All right. And it looks like we are catching up here. Which miner do you think won't survive by next halving for your current miner research? I think the big guys that we're covering here, I think those guys will be fine. It's some of the smaller miners maybe. My original estimates for this time around was going to be Mawson and Stronghold. Stronghold got bought out by Bitfarms, or it's getting bought out by Bitfarms. And then what else we got? Mawson also got an HPC deal. That's a lifeline for them as well, I think. Other than that, maybe Sphere 3D might be one to watch out for, along with Argo right now. Okay. What do you think of CORZ, which hasn't dropped like the rest of the miners? Well, CORZ has a big contract with CoreWeave there. That's going to be starting in sometime next year, first half of 2025. That's going to be valued a lot for them, so I think that's why it's not dropping as much as some of the other miners. Will you start to buy Mara? No, my big thing is the operational uptime for them as well. And so, same as for Riot, I need to see much better numbers in order for me to buy into them. Which source in term of exahash addition for Bitfarms to be confident to get 21 exahash at the end of the year? They still missed 12 exahash target and 2 months late. Yeah, they missed it, but it's not really their fault. It's the issues with the miners, the T21s. They had a bad batch. So did IREN. They're getting those delivered this month. So that'll bring them up to the 12. So it was not all their fault, but a little bit as well. We know that they were behind on things a little bit. Let's see. CORZ up 8% when market is dumping. HPC has certainly gave confidence. Also, as the phase out host miners, they adding A6. Yeah, I forgot to mention that they will be phasing out hosting as well. Is Bitfarms getting HPC this year? I don't think so. I wouldn't bet on it. Let's see. And then I have covered calls on Bitfarms expiring in January 2026. What is the chance they're still in the bull run then? Oh, a small chance, I think, at that point. I'm thinking it's going to be I think we're going to be on the way down after that, unless it's a different cycle. We'll have to wait and see. But, all right, looks like we caught up with everything here, guys, so I'm going to call it a day. I'm tired. Spent a lot of time this afternoon getting into all the miners and everything else. Data on for you guys. Tomorrow, we'll see what happens tomorrow. I only have one miner left to report, which is going to be, who else? Hut 8 has to report. That's the only one left that I'm waiting on. I doubt they're going to report tomorrow. Even if they do, we'll talk about it over the weekend, possibly. Tomorrow's being Friday. You guys know the deal. On Friday, I don't do a show because you guys are also doing your things and celebrating that the week is over. So we'll get back in the swing of things on probably Sunday. We'll do another live stream. Then we'll talk about what happened over the week. How did the miners do Bitcoin as well? And we'll see where things take us from there. And maybe we'll even do the review of the miners for the month of August in general, even if Hot 8 doesn't report. Maybe. We'll see. All right. That's it. Thank you so much for coming in. Greatly appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys Sunday. All right. Have a great weekend. Bye.